Hello beautiful people, my name is Bridget and welcome back to my channel. Hope you're having an awesome day wherever you are. And today's video is my monthly favorites and fails for April 2020. I know we're a little late. I do apologize about that, and I also apologize about the audio. I am doing my best. Hopefully it'll be fixed soon. But without any further ado, let's get into today's video. These are my personal opinions. If we disagree on anything, that's fine. It's just makeup, it's not that serious. And also a couple of these things I've mentioned before and some of these things I haven't. So things that I've mentioned before, I've had enough time now to thoroughly test, and some things are new. So without any further ado, let's get into it. Alright guys, so let's go ahead and get started. I am going to include some swatches when I talk about palettes in my favorites videos from now on. I'm not going to swatch every single shade, but I'm going to swatch a couple of them and show them on camera for you. Since I don't usually swatch things in my monthly favorites videos, I'm going to include some swatches in these. So let's get started talking about like base stuff, then we'll move on. So base stuff that I've talked about before. This is the Milani Rose Water and Rose Primer. So this is the hydrating mist and then a lightweight primer. I talked about this in my packing my moving makeup bag video, and I've had a lot of time to test this now. So I like both these things a lot. The Milani Rose scent isn't overwhelming, and rose has been something that's been in Milani's line forever, even like the little rose shaped blushes and stuff. Those are so pretty. So as far as the primer, I find it not the most hydrating thing in the world. It's just kind of an average primer. It goes on baby pink and it rubs out clear, and it gives a nice little base. It's not super hydrating, it's not super oil resistant, it's just kind of a nice in the middle primer that feels good on the skin, preps a little bit, leaves a baby bit of tackiness to it. If you don't rub it in fully, just rub it in, smooth it out, leaves a baby bit of tackiness, which is a good primer for you. And it has a rose scent, which is not overwhelming. And then I really like the mist. Like, I like the mist more just because you can use it to prep, you can use it to refresh your face during the day, which I will do always. It's just like a little refresher, and it's really good. So I love a primer mist because it's really easy to think about, and this does leave a little bit of hydration, and the scent isn't overwhelming, and I love a mist. So I like this one more. They're both great products, but if I was going to use a primer like this, I do want a little bit more hydration on the skin. But overall, great products, especially from the drugstore. The other primer, this came in a regular base BoxyCharm box, the Cover FX Water Cloud Primer. It has like pollution and blue light defense. Again, we don't know if the blue light defense actually does anything. I feel like I've mentioned this before. In the pollution thing, I kind of see stopping things from getting in your skin that should not be there, but it's just average. Like, I think I would use this primer over this one. I love Cover FX, and I've been trying to try more Cover FX products because I love them, and I really want to try this little blush duos everybody talks about, but they're hella expensive. But this is just okay. I have no desire to reach for this when I'm doing my primer. This has not crossed my mind at all, except I have it. So probably something that will probably be decluttered just because it doesn't do anything for me personally. Another Milani product that was also in that travel bag makeup, this. So I run out my Sol de Janeiro lip balm, which you guys know I've been devastated about, but I do have a new one now, so that's amazing. But this is the Milani Green Goddess Transforming Lip Balm. And I really like it because I have not been wearing too much like lipstick lately. I've been wearing it the last couple days, but the whole week of me moving I did not wear lipstick, but I wore this, and I did not know at first why it was turning like pink on the edges and stuff. I was like, ew, that's gross. But it's just like a heat on your lips, makes your like tint a little bit, doesn't give you like that hot pink tint that you see up here. It also doesn't smell anything but kind of like spearminty, kind of smells minty. It gives like a little bit of a tingle to the lips, just a baby bit, like not hurty, just like the tiniest little bit because it is the mintiness to it. But this Green Goddess Transforming Lip Balm I really like because even though I have no pigment on my lips normally, I can put this on my lips and give a little bit of tinge right in the center, like a little bit of a flush, and I quite enjoy it. It does keep my lips pretty moisturized as well. It's not like a high care, like really good maintaining your lips kind of lip balm. It's just like give yourself a little bit of moisture, give yourself a little bit of tint to it, and I like it a lot. It doesn't really tint the top of my lip where I have zero pigment. It really just kind of tints the inner lip where I have a little bit of color to it, so it kind of accents that. It does not like a lip stain or anything, but it is really good lip balm, especially for the price, and I would keep using it. But it is a little bit maybe because it is a transforming lip balm, it is a little bit soft, so I would never leave it in the car. Just a note. Next up, oh, I finally get to try some Gimme Glow stuff, you guys. And we have a palette from them too that I'm very excited about. But this is their Gimme Glow Sugar Cookie Setting Powder. It is a normal setting powder, and it comes in a thing like this. When I first opened this and looked at it, I don't know if you can tell on camera, probably not because the lights kind of wash everything out. It's dark, and I thought it was gonna be way too dark for me. Now, I could not use this in the winter, the Sugar Cookie shade, because it would be too dark for me, but because I've gotten a lot of sun, look at my arm. Look how tan that is. Look how tan my arm is compared to my face. Because I've been going outside and moving and holding boxes and stuff, even my shoulders are really tan, and I don't like it. But the rest of me, where I have makeup on normally and where it doesn't hit the sun because I wear a lot of high thing dresses, is the same color. But that's not the same color. Anyways, I can get away with, because it's summer and I'm getting more sun, I can get away with this kind of color. I really like the setting powder. I'm using it today. I pack it on with a sponge under my under eyes and in the smile lines, and the rest of it I just use a brush to set my face. And I quite like it. I think it makes my under eyes look really soft. Like, that looks really good. And it sets it all day long. It is a very long wearing setting powder. It's more long wearing than the Milk Makeup setting powder, not as long wearing as the Cover FX or the Anastasia Beverly Hills powder. Just as a like reference for powders, because I can say it sets my face and you guys would be like, okay, but how long? It's in between the Milk and the Anastasia, somewhere in between there. So it's more than Milk, less than Anastasia. Anastasia is more dry. This is very fluffy setting powder. So I quite enjoy this. I think it's very nice, and buying from an indie brand is always a good idea too if you guys are looking for more setting powders. And now, well, I have one more thing. I have one more like face-based thing. Then we'll talk about like the Gimme Go palette that I tried. I talked about this in my moving bag too. It's the Becca Sunlit Bronzer in Bali Sands. Really good. Oh, yeah. Couldn't figure out how to open it. Really good soft bronzer with tiny little micro glitters that don't show up on the face. They just see it in the pan. It's a really good bronzer option if you want something more cool tone and not very orange on your skin. I do quite enjoy this, so there's that one. Now let's talk about palettes. Diving right into palettes. Okay, the Gimme Go palette. It's what's on my eyes, it's what's in my heart, okay? The Juicy Olive palette by Gimme Glow. I wanted this when it first came out, but I was like, I have greens, and I didn't want to justify the purchase and stuff. So when one of you guys sent this to me, I was grateful isn't even the word for these things, because it's just like unexpected and stuff. But this palette, you guys, it's only a 6-pan, which is maybe why I didn't buy it at first, because like, you know what, 6 colors, I have greens. I did not have these greens. Okay, there's nothing in my collection. I mean, the Gemini palette by Melt has some very similar colors, but they're not exactly the same. The formula on this is everything people told me it was and more. Now, the swatches I show you of all these palettes I'm talking about are just one swirl in the pan and an up-down motion, and that's it. So this is one swipe, and these are gorgeous. Like, they're super highly pigmented. I would say that these two shades are kind of similar looking on the eyes. You can tell it's a little bit brighter, but this isn't too much different on the eyes, so you can kind of mix these interchangeably and it won't really tell too much of a difference. It's just slightly brighter on the eyes, but they come off very similar. The rest of the shades, well, I mean, they're so both really pretty shades, but all the rest of the shades are really unique. I live for this shade right here. I mean, I love the brighter one too, but this more like straight up olivey kind of color is so pretty. So I have this on my eyes today. Oh, I love this look. It's so green and so pretty and so effortless. Like, this took no time at all to make on my eyes because these are just so pigmented. And the metallic-y shimmery shades, like, I know there's only 2 in the palette, but they're gorgeous, and they're like one little swipe covers your entire lid, and I feel like I'm gonna get the most out of this because they're huge pans and a little bit goes a long way. So this is definitely like worth the purchase if you're into this kind of color scheme. Next, palettes. Let's talk about the one that came with that one. So the Alma palette, it is Amy Loves Makeup in collaboration with Amy Hearts Beauty, which is the brand. This one I'm not as thrilled about. I did wear it in a recent video and you guys liked it. You're like, oh my god, you're wearing purple on your eyes. And yes, I've been trying to wear more color schemes that I wouldn't normally wear, like purples. But this is the palette, so if we can tell up close, this came destroyed. I knew before I got it that it was a very fragile formula, but I had to repress 6 of the shades. I had to repress 6 of them, especially these light shimmers. It's probably hard to tell on camera, but these all have been repressed, which was very irritating. And I would say this formula is fine. Like, I do like the palette and I'm very appreciative to have it and stuff. And I do like the look I came out with last time I used it, and yesterday when I used it too, I did like the look. But I would say that the price doesn't justify the quality of the palette itself. I love light shimmers, especially for the lid. Like on the lid, I love a light shimmer. It's my thing. But for me, some of these, like this shade right here, are very subtle. They're not very bold. I would say that even the pastel purple, when I tried to build it up to make a really nice pastel look with a really, really light base down that I didn't set so I could get the most pigment out of it, I didn't think this was the best lilac purple I've ever tried, like a pastel purple. And this shade right here, this red, is a really good star of the palette. It's called Inspiration. That's a really good color in the palette. But I would say that these look really pretty. They're very sparkly kind of shimmer, and I don't know if the sparkliness makes them a different like quality of shadow. If they had less sparkle and more metallicness to it, maybe they would be more pretty on the eyes. But I would say for being so fragile, pretty expensive, I'd say. It's not my favorite palette in the world, but there are some good moments in it, and I do like the looks they come out with. But I do think it needs to be a more secure, harder pressed palette, because there's been so many people I've seen get this and it's been broken. So the quality of the shadows is just not worth the fragility and you ending up with a broken palette. So that's what I would think about that. And you think they need to reformulate, but the color scheme is very pretty. Another palette that was, I mean, this was PR, but it was kind of unexpected to receive, is this palette. Ooh. It's the Charmed palette by Sola Look. I mean, it looks really cool. And I know what you guys are thinking, like Charmed seemed like a show I'd be into. I haven't seen it. I know it seems exactly like something I would be into, but I haven't seen it. But I really wanted to try Sola Look's formula, and they do like a lot of themed things. Like the first thing, the only thing I've ever tried from Sola Look other than this was their liquid lipsticks from Saved by the Bell, and they were so fun and really good quality. So I wanted to try their eyeshadow formula. So they sent this over, and I must say it's a pretty good palette with some good moments. I think the, well, here's the color scheme up close so you can see the whole palette as a whole. But the color seems very random. I don't know how it correlates to the show itself, but it does seem very random. Just from the palette packaging and stuff, I would expect more darker colors in here. The green is beautiful, and the red here is pretty perfect. But these are very, very light. I would like to see some more of the amberish shades from a lot of like the promo pictures and stuff that I've seen for the show. And it's good. Like the quality of it's good, but the mattes need some building up. So I really, really like the metallic-y shimmery shades. I got distracted in my head for a second there. I really like the metallic-y shimmery shades. They're beautiful. Like the one swipe coverage on these metallics, and they're stunning, except for the bottom ones. They're more subtle, but like these highly pigmented like pinks and the purples and the reds and the greens, they're really, really gorgeous. But the mattes need some building up. Like they're pigmented, right? And there's only a couple mattes in here. There is 3 mattes in here, so these 1, 2, 3. There's only 3 mattes in here. They are pigmented, but they need some building up. That's my only complaint about the formula. These more neutral metallic shades are very subtle. They're just kind of like a sheer shimmer, but these highly pigmented, like these are so beautiful. Like it's the really, really highly colorful ones that are the stars of this palette, but the neutral ones are a little bit kind of like to me. So hope that makes sense. I have not seen the show, but if you are interested in it, it's a really weird shape, but if you like the show, I'm sure this would be something you'd really love, as long as you use the bright colorful shades. The neutrals just kind of aren't doing it for me. All right, last palette. I think I might have talked about this last month, I don't remember, but it is the Zueva Caramel Melange palette. Now I've been trying to use this more. I don't want to anymore. Is that bad? We got this in a BoxyCharm, and I wanted to try Zueva forever. Like I've been wanting to try this for like 2 years. I've been wanting to try Nobla, and I've wanted to try Zueva. Those are 2 brands I've been like dying for, and this is the more affordable of the 2. So this is the one that came in the box and I tried. I want to try a different palette from them. This is just okay. It's mostly mattes, which I appreciate. It has 6 mattes and 4 shimmers. Oh no, this actually, it's only 3 shimmers. This is actually mattes. There's 7 mattes and 3 shimmers. The mattes are fine. They're pigmented. They're fine, but they're not like revolutionary amazing. And the 3 shimmer shades are weak. Like they're pigmented. They show up, but there's nothing like, oh my gosh, the highly pigmented. Oh my gosh, this pigment's beautiful. Oh, they look so metallic and gorgeous and wet on the lid. They're just pretty shimmers. So I'm underwhelmed. And then this black shade, or this dark brown shade, has like little gold reflex in it of glitter, which I don't mind that in a darker shade, but some people don't like that. And this is the deepening up shade in the palette, because these are all pretty similar. So if you don't like that in your mattes, maybe you wouldn't like this, but it's just kind of like an okay, subtle meh palette. I'm sorry. So I really loved the Juicy Olive. This palette was pretty, but very fragile and very irritating with that. The beautiful, highly pigmented shades in this one, and then this one's just kind of meh. So the last thing we have to talk about is from Ofra. I was sent this to review. It is the Ofra Little Essentials Kit. I keep putting things back in this bag until I talk about it because I thought the bag was so cute. The bag is so cute. It's like my favorite makeup bag I've ever gotten probably. So this comes with a bunch of stuff in there. And let me tell you what I think about these things as this little like kit. So it comes with 2 lip products, the like regular liquid lipstick in Santa Fe or Santa Ana, and then we have a flexi stick and stretch. So I really like the Santa Ana liquid lipstick. I really love Ofra's liquid lipstick formula. It's a really pretty red, but it has like a little bit of pink tinge to it. And then this thing, this flexi stick, I thought would be fun, like a really, really comfortable liquid lipstick, but it's very peachy concealery on my lips, so I wasn't really a fan of that one. I do like the big fat wand, and the formula feels very comfortable. And it looks very peachy, but when you put it on my lips, it looks very concealery apricot-y. So I'm not a fan of this color. I do think the formula is very comfortable, but I do love the liquid lipstick formula. The only thing I haven't tried from this set is the cleanser. It looks really fun, but I have been trying to use my normal cleanser before I use this one, but it looks really pretty, and I'm really into vitamin C. So when I finish testing the one I'm using now, I would definitely want to reach into this, and vitamin C is always really good for your skin, and I really want to try Ofra's like skincare formula. And the other thing is the highlight that I'm wearing today. It's the Beverly Hills highlighter. It's a little subtle, but very pretty. I feel like it just meshes into my skin and looks like a natural glow from within kind of thing because they're so metallic and less like glittery, you know? But this is the little wheel of highlighter called Beverly Hills. I don't reach into these 2 shades. I've been using this little wheelhouse, and these shades right here are just so, so pretty. I do really like the pinky kind of shade in this, and when I mix it into the white and the little champagne, it definitely keeps it light on my skin so it doesn't look like it's too dark. But I really like it. It looks like it's coming from within kind of glow, not too standoffish on the skin. So if you're looking for something Ofra, because they have a beautiful soft highlighter formula, but don't want something super blinding and metallic like Pillow Talk and Glazed Donut, which I love, this is a great option. So this little set, really, really pretty. And I think it's like the perfect thing to test out Ofra stuff because you are getting like a variety of stuff in there. But instead of the cleanser, maybe they could put the Cool as the Cucumber moisturizer in there because I miss that thing. I miss having that. Anyways, you guys, that is it for my favorites and fails this month. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I would love to know something you're loving this month in the comment section down below, as well as any other videos you want to see from me coming up, because any ideas, creativity is hurting on this end over here. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.